And another Wednesday in the wheelhouse. Welcome everybody. Today's a chilly one in the wheelhouse, as it is 57 degrees currently in here. We got a bunch of heaters going, trying to warm this place up. Today we have a very special guest. She's what I like to call one of Facebook's own meme queens. We're in a couple groups together, and man, she'll crack you up with her memes. Not memes, memes. M-E-M-E. Before we get into that, let's roll the intro. So for today's guest, folks, very special guest. I've known her for a while here on Facebook groups, different spinal cord injury USA. Let's just bring her in. Angel M. How are you, Angel? Man, I'm blowing everybody's eardrums out with that damn that clapping. So how are you? How you been? How are things on in your side of the woods over there?
Cold.
Yeah, cold too,
It's
huh?
freezing here.
Yep. You're a Midwestern gal too, ain't you?
Right? You said gal.
Gal? Like we're from the South, I know, right? So I don't know if you've watched any of these before, or know kind of how we do this, but I have 10 questions. We're just going to run through them, and you got to give me the best answer you want. In between, we'll have a little, chat, talk about stuff. People are going to be commenting as we go, so you might hear me like shout out somebody or say something about something somebody says. That's totally normal. Trust me, I'm not calling you different names. Like right now, our buddy Mike saying what's happening. Good to see him joining in. So before we get going, is there anything that you would like to know from me?
What's your story? Can you do a rundown of your story?
Yeah, absolutely. My story is, it was October 26, 2019, and a buddy of mine showed up. I wanted everybody to come over for a campfire. Nobody wanted to come over for a campfire. Nobody wanted to deal with me anymore because I was having campfire after campfire, and they're like, no, Rick, no more freaking campfires. We're done. Suddenly, this guy's like, I'll go with you. Shows up, says, let's go to the bar. I'll buy you some rounds, before we do this bonfire thing. Then we'll come back and we'll have a fire. I said, shoot, you're paying. I'm going. So I jumped in his truck, and we went off to a couple bars and had some drinks. On the way back, he started taking a wrong turn. I'm like, where the hell you going? Long story short, he flipped the truck. I went out the window, hit something or other, ended up in the woods, ended up with a T3, T4 spinal cord injury. So that kind of brought me to where I am today. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch in between there, obviously, but that's the rundown, pretty much. So it's funny how you asked me that, because I don't think I've ever given anybody an opportunity to ask me questions at the beginning. That might be a new thing we're going to do. But also, that's actually the first question that my question to you would be is tell us about what happened.
Well, on April 14th, 2004, I was with my ex-boyfriend at the time. We were headed towards his house, and for legal purposes, I can't say a whole lot, but we basically had looked over and missed the curve, and we rolled 5 times, and so the rest is history. I can't say a whole lot, but
right.
I was a passenger and he was driving. So
man. And how long was that ago, you said?
18 years.
18 years. Wow. So you've been down for 18 years. And, I mean, it looks like, you've made it a long way, though. Am I wrong? I mean, you got a beautiful family.
I do, yeah.
That was my biggest thing. That's all I was going to say.
What's that?
I said that was the biggest thing with me is my family. You know what I mean? Like that was my biggest savior, I should say.
I couldn't have done it. I came from a large family. There's 12 of us in my family, 12 kids. So I had 11 siblings to help me, and I couldn't have done it without them,
Right.
And my kids, their dad died of the family, so a lot of nieces and nephews, and it takes a village for sure, because there's no way I could have done any of that, because my kids were only 7 and 9 when I got hurt, so they were babies still.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's your what is your injury classification? What is it?
C5-6 complete, they say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this one's kind of a tricky question. I asked this question, and certain people have different answers, but for the majority, it's all the same kind of. If you could go back in time and before your injury and avoid your injury, but also once avoiding your injury, you avoid the life you have now. You know what I mean? If you avoid your injury, you get to go on your way of walking and never have to worry about anything else. Would you go back and give it all back, or would you continue on now where you are?
I actually studied this question when you were interviews. I had to think about it. I did. This is the one that stuck out to me. I'm kind of torn about it because I wouldn't want my children to have to go through what they did, and still do. But I feel like if I tried to change the course of time, then my granddaughter would have been born, or
Right.
But then I look at it differently, like if she was meant to be here, she would have been. But this is a tough life, and I feel like if I could have done it differently, I would have, and still been able to be mobile. But also, I feel like it made me a stronger person, and I got to meet a lot of cool people on the way. But I wish I could go back, honestly, and changed it, and still have the people I have in my life now. So
It's kind of you'd want to keep what you have today, but yeah, you'd want to experience it differently.
yeah.
For sure, that's understandable. I agree with that. Now, this next question is, I mean, if you've watched them, you've seen them all, so you know what it is pretty much. But dating / married, what's that situation like for you?
That's when I think I blocked that one out, right? I just slide it in. This can be interesting. What was the question?
So pretty much, it's just I mean, what are your thoughts on dating, or are you dating, or are you married, or what? Like a lot of people, especially if you. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people, I've noticed this, that get injured before they get a chance to meet somebody. They don't get a chance to meet somebody the way they would have wanted to. So now they got to say, well, I'm in a wheelchair. Who's going to want me in a wheelchair? I see that all the time, and it's like, I couldn't imagine being that person because luckily enough, when I got in my accident, I had a lovely woman that was down to stay with me. You know what I mean? So not everybody has that. So that's kind of why it rounds up in one of the questions, because everybody always wants to hear about it. They want to ask that question. You know what I mean? So.
Well, you are blessed, aren't you? I've been married since I've been in the chair, and then that didn't quite work out. But let's see. I don't know. I talk to people. I wouldn't rule it out, but I'm kind of independent. I'm a hard one, tough to crack because I have my own situation and don't. I feel like I was like that before I got hurt too, though. I think it's trickier now because it's like a lot for another person to take on, and I don't know where I'm at with that. I mean, I have people willing to step up like that, but I think it's more me. I don't know. I got comfortable in my own skin being alone, but I still talk to people,
Right, for sure.
But you're lucky. How long you been with your girl?
We've been together for 11 years in September.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
that's impressive.
We've been going on for a little bit.
That's impressive for anybody.
Yeah, no, for sure. I tell you what, after the accident, I thought I was in deep doo-doo. I was like, oh man, she's gonna take off, and I was super worried. But then, like, when she actually, did not and stayed with me, it was an eye opener for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The next question I got for you is pet peeves. Everybody's got them. What is your pet peeves about? And I know you probably got a ton of them.
Ooh, I got a ton. I'm OCD. I don't like going out. Okay, I quit going to like bars because people like bump into you.
Oh, I hate that.
Well, I was a trained fighter, and it's like being, strapping a cobra to a chair. So if somebody bumps me, I'm not very happy about it. But I don't know, mostly that, or like we just talked about this. If I go to the doctor or something, like with my daughter or somebody, they talk to you like
you can come out here if you want. You can sit down. Yep, I'm listening. Go ahead.
They talk to you like they're, like you can't speak.
Right.
They'll talk to the person next to you. Ask them questions they should be asking me. Like, I can't speak because, I'm in a chair. But
right.
I don't know. I've learned to adapt pretty well after all these years, you know, with pretty much all, I don't know. I don't have too many, I don't think, because I'm a people person, social bug, so I just roll with it.
My biggest
But
thing.
yeah, loud, like, huh?
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish what you were gonna say.
What's yours?
I mean, I was just gonna say, for me, it's mostly inaccessibility. You know what I mean? Around like different places nowadays. I mean, when you think about it's 2022. Yeah.
Yep. That right there, and also traveling on airplanes, having to put my chair under a plane. I don't like it.
I won't do it. I won't even go on an airplane. There's no way.
I went to California. They tried to leave my chair in Arizona once.
Oh, hell no.
They almost left it. Yeah.
I'd have been madder than
I
a
don't know why
hornet.
they had to do that.
So this next question is kind of. Oh, go ahead. Was you done with that, or did?
No, yeah, I can go on.
Okay, it's weird because we're like, I know we're slightly like lagged out, so I want to make sure I don't talk over you too. You know what I mean? We're using Facebook Messenger, people. Give us a chance here. The next question though is something. What's something you wish you could do now that you're not able to do now that you were able to do before?
Oh God, definitely martial arts. I miss martial arts. I miss basketball. I know that you can do wheelchair basketball, but I miss the field running up and down the court.
Right, stopping and hitting that jumper
Sports.
real quick.
What's that?
Stopping and hitting that jump shot. I remember that. I sucked at basketball, but I remember the feeling. You know what I mean?
I love basketball. I miss that. I miss beach volleyball, and I miss martial arts the most. Being able to kick somebody or something, you know.
Right, right.
But other than that, that's mostly it.
Another thing I miss.
More used to my hands.
Oh, yeah, that too. I was gonna say another thing I miss too is just being able to reach a shelf, opening up a shelf, you know, or getting above the refrigerator to grab some stuff or something.
I just got a new wheelchair that elevates floor to ceiling. I haven't got in it yet, but that's
Nice.
gonna be a game changer. It's sitting over there. I just haven't been in it yet. Yeah.
That kind of brings me to another question: is what type of wheelchair do you currently use?
It's a Permobil.
Permobil, what, like a F3 or?
Is it a Permobil or is it a? Yeah, I think it's a Permobil.
Do you got a
I've
name?
had several.
Do you got a name for it?
Shut up, my buddies. What'd you say?
Do you got a name for it?
You got me better. What, do I have to pay for it?
No, do you have a name for it? What's the name? Do you call it anything? Is there like a name for your wheelchair?
My first chair was Johnny 5, so we go up.
That's
Johnny
my
6,
chair.
Johnny 7, Johnny.
Oh man!
up.
I swear I got a Michigan license plate in the back of it that says Johnny number 5. I'm not even joking. Short circuit.
No, I promise. Anybody that knows me, they know I'm like up to Johnny 7 now, you know?
That is awesome. See, me and you got more in common. That's why we knew we were gonna have a good time.
Right. Oh, we can kids.
Right. What's your so you said you were like in kickboxing or martial arts. What do you do now for fitness? What's your fitness secret for everybody?
Besides hitting walls, I hit my bag,
Mm-hmm.
my punching bag, and I don't do as much as I should, but I try to hit the crap out of that daily. But
You ever do any kind of like
funny.
resistance bands or any kind of calisthenics of any kind? I mean, arm workouts, I guess.
No, I should. I used to all the time. I used to do all the TheraBands and stuff, you know, and go to the therapy, and I did a lot. I travel and do therapy every few years.
Okay.
You know, I went to Orlando, California, but no, I've been slacking since it got cold out.
Hey, I'm with you. Trust me. The only thing I do anymore is my TheraBands, or if I'm laying in bed, I'll do some push-ups or something with the weights on laying down in bed. What is your level of pain like? What do you got for any pain? You know, all of us have different pain levels. What's some of the stuff you deal with?
I deal with a lot of nerve pain. And I've learned to control it quite a bit, but it's been hurting in my hips and legs since it got colder out. I don't know. I think I've learned to deal with it and manage it pretty well, but sometimes I do suffer from autonomic dysreflexia. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, autonomic
Do you suffer from
dysreflexia. Every once in a while. Nothing too bad. but my body has a way of telling me. I'll get these goosebumps if I'm laying on a lighter
that's
or something like that. Yeah.
yes. And I sweat on one side. Yeah.
Yep. You can shut that off now, Dustin, if you would, please. So I got my buddy here with me. He's helping me turn my heat on and off. We got this little Bunsen burner slash propane heater in the old wheelhouse we're using to heat it. And it actually went from 55 to 60 degrees. So now we're doing pretty good in here now.
Yeah.
Um,
On my little heater. Right.
I know it looks like you're trying to stay warm yourself in there. You
Oh,
got
it's
your
freezing.
beaner on, your
My
beanie
furnace
on,
went out my house.
your hoodie on. Yep.
What's that?
I said you got your beanie on, your hoodie on.
No, I'm dressing warm today. It's too cold up in here.
Right. The next question I got for you is what helped you the most after your injury? After you got injured, what was the biggest thing that helped you, would you say?
My kids. I don't know if I could have done it if I didn't know I had them to come home to, honestly, sometimes.
Right.
My kids, my friends, my family. My faith is the first.
For
Faith
sure.
always comes first with me. My dad is a pastor. That helped. Can't tell by some of my memes, though, huh?
Hey, you know what they say? You know what they say?
I know.
The minister's daughter is the crazy one.
I do that all the time. I'm gonna get a shirt made, you know.
Yeah. No.
I think most of it was, and I think being an athlete, a hardcore athlete, before I got hurt helped. Because I just went into train mode as soon as I, could get off the ventilator. I just went straight to the gym and did what I did. So.
Right. For sure. I mean.
You gotta have one to do it.
Yeah, and with me, it's I agree. It's the family. You know what I mean? Like my son was right next to me the whole I remember being in rehabilitation and hospital, and he would come lay with me, and we watch football and play games, and it just helps. You know what I mean? To have somebody there with you. So the next question is, what are your? We spoke a little bit about this, but what about hobbies before and after? So what did you do before, and then what are your hobbies now afterwards?
Before I was online taking courses for photography. I haven't really done a lot of that, but mostly sports. I did a lot of sports up until I got hurt, and then man, that's like the base of everything for me. I don't know. I just hang out with my kids. They're grown now. They're in their 20s. That's my favorite thing to do. Music. I love music. It's my love language.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't do a whole lot, honestly, but I should. I just work out. That's my go-to.
Right.
What do you do?
Well, I do this. For one, I do the podcasting thing. I mean, I used to do music myself. I actually have albums I've done. I've got multiple different albums I've done with friends, or even one by myself that I did in 2017. I've thought about getting back into music, but music's been pretty much always it. I've also done car shows, classic car shows. But that was more of that's like a young man's game. You know what I mean? You gotta be getting flyers and passing them out and going to all the other car shows to get people to come to your car shows. And I did a lot of walking. I'll never forget when I was in Mary Free Bed, which is a rehabilitation hospital. They asked me, they were doing my stretches, and I got my legs going damn near, you know what I mean, straight up and down. And they said, Rick, are you a gymnast? I said, no, I'm not no gymnast. Rick, are you you go to those trapeze artists? I said, no, why you keep asking me this? Man, you're super flexible, Rick. I'm like, I don't know what it is. And we kept talking about it, and I'm like, well, I mean, I walk a lot for car shows. They said, that's it. So
Funny.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, my first car was a Nova.
See? I've never had it. The only classic car I've ever had was a 1990 Pontiac 6000.
That's great.
I love that car.
I used to be in derbies. You know about demolition derby?
Oh, I love demolition derbies. Absolutely.
Yeah, I did that. I used to do that with my kid's dad. We would team drive. We
Nice.
did those drag trips. Yeah. So I know about the panty dropper cars, we call them.
The panty droppers, right. The old classics. Yeah.
Classic. Okay, that's more appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hell, we can, however you want to label it, you know what I mean? The next No, you're good. No, trust me, you're mild compared to what I thought you'd be like. I thought you'd be on here hooting, hollering, throwing wine bottles, you know what I mean? We haven't had too
No,
many
I got my
crazy people on here yet. The next question is, and you kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, is about the airplanes. Is like travel. Are you still like into travel? Do you like to travel? How do you go about it? Tell us a little bit about that.
I don't like to travel. I'm a country girl. I like being around my own turf, but I do travel. When I go to therapy, I tend to go really far away for some reason. I don't feel like we have a lot of accessible gyms and that, around here, so I have to go states away for some decent therapy. But the first time I took the plane, and then I told you that was kind of a shipwreck. So then we drove to Orlando straight through, and I did that. But no, I don't really travel. I think I'm more of a homebound country girl, but
My buddy Mike said not on Wednesdays anyway.
what's that?
My buddy Mike, he's making a joke. He said not on Wednesdays anyway.
Ah,
But
there you go.
no, see now driving straight through, that would be my thing, except for anytime I drive, especially on Michigan roads, which are crappy. You know what I mean? Like my back ends up hurting the next day. So it's like any kind of
Yeah.
amount of bumping around, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how I like it. But then again, if you think about Michigan roads compared to the rest of the country roads, everywhere else I feel like is smoother. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever been to Michigan or or wherever you're from's roads are, but
Yeah, our roads are crap here.
so you
And
got probably got the same
I-
Midwest roads that we do.
Yep, must be a Midwestern thing, Rick. But I have a Pacifica, and my wheelchair wheels right up in it, so you feel everything. Feels like you're dragging. But I'm getting a new vehicle this month. And I'm getting a truck, I think, because the
Nice.
truck's more elevated.
Yeah, a
Because
little bit better
I'm
ride height and better
Yeah.
spring capacity. Yep.
Yeah. I might travel after I get this new vehicle, because it bumps. Everywhere I go, it feels like it drags. So
For
it
sure.
is painful to ride sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
So,
That's one thing that stopped me from wanting to go a lot of places is just, you know what I mean? Like, depending on how far it is and everything else is just the pain of.
accessible.
Yeah, exactly. So the last question that I have on here, but not the least one, I guess, does that make sense? I don't know if I don't think that makes sense. Last but not least, this last question. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a newly injured person?
That's interesting. Because I used to talk to schools when I first got here. I'd go and talk to schools and, young, I call them newbies, newly injured. Oh, geez, that's hard. I've given a lot of advice in 20 years.
It's hard to just pick like the one that you think is the most important one, right?
It's okay to have a bad day, just don't stay in it. Because, you got to find the silver lining. I always say this on the SCI page. Find the silver lining in everything. There's something good in everything. And it's just a bad day and a bad moment. I mean, if you get the opportunity to wake up, breathe, and move forward, the next day you push through that shit, excuse my French, and, make the most of it. Surround yourself with the right people. I don't care, if you're related to them, they make you feel like crap. You don't have to, put them in your circle. Just anybody that brings sunshine to your world, that's it really matters who you have in your life, and you gotta want to do it. So just push through it, because it's too easy. It'd be too easy to give up.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have a calling. Like you have a calling right now, doing what you're doing, using your platform, And I guess mine's to make people laugh, stay out of Facebook jail. I don't know, but
The
like,
meme
I
queen.
feel like.
Sorry, I had to say something about it.
Yeah, it's bad, but I don't know. I have a lot of advice. I could be here all night with it, but I try to still utilize my own advice every day. Just get up. I thank God every morning that I get to wake up, because I've died 5 times legally. I don't know if you heard me earlier.
Man,
So just to wake up and do another day, yeah, it's crazy. So every day is like, cool, I made it again. What am I gonna do with this day? So my motto going in, as soon as they told me I wouldn't walk again, was I want to inspire and be inspired. So if I can do that and find that through somebody else or help somebody else, that's my goal. you know, I feel like it was all worth it. But
For
I don't
sure.
know.
No, for sure. I agree with that 100%. The whole, you know,
You know,
right. Don't take anything for granted. Don't take every day. Yeah. You got to make sure you, yeah.
for sure, that right there.
And I've gotten real big on myself on, you know, thanking the Lord every morning I wake up and every night I go to bed to, you know, give me the, yeah, the grace to sit here and still be a father to my son. And yep.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, if I didn't have my faith, I wouldn't be able to raise my kids from chair. I had to go to court and fight for them, you know, and we had quite the journey with all that, but that's a whole other story. But I mean, if I didn't have my faith, I don't know if I could have done it. It comes from a whole other level, but
For
that
sure.
and humor, you got to laugh for that. I'm all for handicap humor, you know. If
Oh,
you can't laugh with me
100%.
on that, then you can't be with people. So
Oh no, for sure. I hate when the people like look at us like it's like you make a joke and they're like, "Oh, that's so beneath you." It's like, shut
I
up,
get reported all the
Martha. Right? Like, go home and go to bed, you old fart. Shut up.
That's
But it's just, you know, it's
dude.
that's the way that I kind of got through it. Is, you know, first off, once you figure out that you get injured, you have a choice to make. You're either gonna make that
Right.
choice to be a rotten little pickle and sit there and yodel the rest of your life about how shitty your life is, or you're gonna be that happy little doodle bird that's gonna doodle his way on up into the clouds and, you know what I mean, shit on all the
My
fucking
God, you
yodeling pickles. I know, right? Where am I? Well, the reason I came up with yodeling pickles, I actually have a yodeling pickle. I just looked at it and it gave me the idea. Yeah. It's weird. My buddy gave it to me. He came over here when you've seen, you've seen it. I showed you. It's on one of my other episodes. But no, I do appreciate the time that you take, you know, with us here. And, you know, to obviously let everybody else know if you guys are interested in coming on, just like Angel did, let me know. Hit me up. It's pretty painless, I would say, right? It's just like hanging out with a buddy.
Right, sorry, you're right. I wasn't dressed and pressed today, but you know my heat went out, so my buddy just slept. And I guess he got that worked. I don't know. So I was going to be comfortable today, but yeah. No, we could do this again. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna have more people back next year. Everybody that participated this year, you guys are already in like a memory bank of, you know, who you are and how to get a hold of you. So we're gonna make sure we're gonna bring people back and, you know, see how they've been and kind of stick with them and, you know, maybe do like a big, you know, like a big couple hour show and just bring everybody on, you know, one after the other and just talk to them. You know what I mean?
Reunion, something like
Yeah, something like that.
You better not get me in trouble with my dating roster today, Rick.
No,
I
you're
built that
gonna
up.
be all right. I don't think anybody's gonna come over and, you know, get mad at you for it. But yeah. So I appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate the time. I appreciate everybody watching out there, everybody that watches and shares. You know, my hope is that the reason why I do this is hopefully one day it's gonna help somebody else. You know what I mean? Even if it does help one other person, that's worth it to me. So, with that being said, what would you like to end with?
I'm at him with wine. I don't know if you're at him, Rick.
Hey, I'll cheers to that. I'll cheers to that.
Mm-hmm. Man. Look
Yep.
at you.
And
you got
then,
going over here? Is that new whiskey honey and peanut butter honey I've been hearing about?
oh, you're talking about that screwball. That's that
Yeah,
good
it's
stuff.
like new whiskey, peanut butter whiskey or something.
Yep, peanut butter whiskey. That's some good stuff. It's called screwball. It's not what I mean, I do have some of that somewhere. Now you make me want to break that stuff out. But catch us next time here on Wheelchair Wednesday. Angel, don't go nowhere. We'll be right with you. And until next time, we'll see you. Thanks for watching.